Welcome back to the channel. My name is Raymond Cooper. This is the True from Mr.Cooper YouTube page. So I just got done watching episode 4 of season 3. This one is titled Blackfire. So from the course of action from all the other episodes, normally the episode is focused around the title, but things are a little bit different there. But let's go ahead and go over the synopsis of this episode as well as what I thought about it. So when it came to this episode, we start off. My apologies. Yes, when we come to this episode, we start off with Red Hood trying to sneak somebody into the. Red Hood try to sneak somebody into Arkham to take out Crane, but they end up getting stopped, saying like, "Oh, hey, the Red Hood has it out for you." They never forget. We then cut to, once again, and a lot of scenes I'm noticing are in the kitchen, but we'll get to that. So we cut to the scene with Connor and Gar in the kitchen, and how Connor's having doubts about himself because he was not able to save Hank in the previous episode. Don comes in, gives Connor a hug, telling him like, "Hey, there's nothing really you could have done. It was my fault. I'm the one who pulled the trigger." So we move on. And we cut to a scene where we are at a airport, and we come to find out that Dawn is now leaving to go to Paris to be with her family due to the loss of Hank. Dawn tells Dick, "Hey, you should just come with me," but Dick's like, "No, I can't do that. I gotta take out Red Hood. I can't just let him be here." We come to find out that Barbara tells Dick about Red Hood trying to take out Crane. We once again are cut back to another scene where Garth is once again in the kitchen, and he makes a pizza. Starfire is once again under another blackout episode, and she attacks Garth. She gets out of the trance, and Garth like, "Hey, leave me alone. Don't mess with me." After that, she once again calls Homeboy from Vegas, saying like, "Hey, alright, man, I'm having more episodes. What's going on here? I need help." And then he tries to help out, but she's like, "Alright, you don't understand." And she ends up hanging up on him. So then we go right back to Starfire apologizing to Garth, saying like, "Hey, I'm having visions again. This ain't nothing against you." And then we have a quick little scene where Garth's like, "Bruh, I'm done taking care of y'all. I'm trying to be level-headed about everything. Y'all don't know how to act. I'm done. Leave me alone." But then Garth like, "Here, let me try to help you out." Shows them he shows her a meditation machine that Bruce, aka Batman, uses so he can meditate. But he's like, "Maybe you should use this to figure out what these visions about." So once again, we cut, and then we cut to a scene where we find out that guards are trying to transport Crane, aka Scarecrow, to another location because the Gotham PD now knows that Red Hood knows Crane is there. So we get to that scene. Dick ends up taking out all the guards and then taking them for himself. We have a couple scenes where they're in the car having conversation, but I didn't really think that was really that important to the story. I didn't put that in my notes. So they're in the car for a majority of this, and they're going back and forth. Barbara finds out that Dick took Crane, but we digest. So we go back. We cut back, and we see that Starfire wakes up in a car. Comes to find out that she had another episode while been in the meditation chamber, and she gets out the meditation chamber. Garth tries to stop her. She ends up punching him, and then locks her in the trunk. So then we kind of find out she in the trunk. Take her out. So they talk, and then come to find out that underneath the car was a underground base, and then it's like a levee, and then they open it up. Cut back once again, like I told you. Barbara finds out that Dick took Crane, and then I guess like another entity comes in that's higher than Gotham PD and tells them, "Hey, you guys till midnight to find Crane, or we gotta step in." So excuse me. Gar and Starfire goes to the base, and the visions she has been having up are lining up with the base. Gonna find out that Blackfire, her sister, is in this like container, passed out. And at first, I thought it was a scientist. To see the scientist as like observing her, and he's like super excited to see Blackfire and my apologies, Starfire and Gar, and like, oh, I'm pretty sure you guys have questions. And then we cut back to another scene. We cut back to Dick and Crane once again. At this time, they get to a cabin, and Crane tries to escape from the car, but he ends up getting caught in a booby trap from Dick. Then we come to find out that the cabin that they're at is actually where him and Jason were trained becoming Robins. And then we also find out that the hit at the beginning of the episode was not actually hit. It was Jason's thugs were trying to get Crane out, because you also find out, spoiler, that Crane is the person that's behind the chemical and the enhancer that Jason was taking in episode 1. So you come to find out that with the help from Crane, Jason told Crane everything. That's kind of how he finds out that Bruce is Batman, Dick is Nightwing, yada yada yada. So once again, we come to find out, and then we come to find out that the scientist is not really a scientist. He's just somebody that the government, because now Blackfire is the like government property, and he's basically just down in to make sure she don't do anything at all. And so Starfire and Blackfire have a conversation, and you kind of find out that Blackfire was the one sending those messages to Starfire, like, hey, come see me, come get me. Then they have a little bit of the scene goes into they talking about their past, how Blackfire was never really supported by Starfire, how when they were all little, Starfire always got away with things and wasn't punished like she was. And then Starfire's like, man, listen, the reason why that stuff happened to you was because you always back talk and you always had something to say. You always was super aggressive, so that's what happened. So they go back and forth. Finally, they get into a fight. Now, in the chamber at the end, their powers are nullified, so it's really just a hand-to-hand combat. Really just hand-to-hand combat. So they end up fighting. Starfire wins and leaves the chamber. And then we have a quick little scene where Blackfire basically tells Starfire, you're the reason I'm who I am today, because you were never the sister that I needed. You know, just excuses as excuses. So, once again, we go back to the cabin, and Crane and Dick have a conversation about, Crane asks, Dick, like, hey, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm gonna take out Jason. He's going to come here because that's just what he's going to do. But Crane's like, no, like, what are you going to do in Gotham since Batman's gone? And you're like, are you going to become Batman? And they have a quick little conversation, and we have a flashback to Dick training under Bruce as a kid, and then it's basically a little flashback of like, oh, this is what happened the first night that Bruce sent me out there alone to train. And then and then they cut back to him getting chased by a wolf, and then the next scene is they talk about fear and how Crane was like, Batman's whole thing was like putting fear into people. And then they have a little quick conversation about how Bruce taught Dick make sure fear is your friend, not your enemy. And then the next scene, you see Dick coming in with the wolf's head, and then Dick tells Crane the wolf thought I was scared of him, but he should have been scared of me. I thought that was a really good scene. I thought that was great. So then we cut back to the underground base, and the Observer, I'm not calling him scientists no more. The Observer tells Gar and Starfire that basically Blackfire's going to be in this chamber until she dies. That could be centuries. and because she's just too. We can't just let her out there. We can't just let her wreak havoc. We have to keep her here so nothing bad happens. So he says, okay, and they leave. And once again, you knew what was going to happen. Starfire goes back and like, nah, we ain't letting this happen. She gonna come with me. So then she takes her out and basically said, listen, you gonna either come with me or you gonna sit down here. Which one you want to do? And so it's like, all right, I guess I'll go, and then leave. Now we go back, and then come to find out that they show a scene where Jason like has a sniper rifle. He's about to take out Dick, but that was Crane. He just used him as a decoy. They have a fight, and then Dick's like, "Why'd you tell Crane all this?" Like, and then once again, Jason's playing this whole like, "You made me into this. You're the reason I'm this and that." And then Jason's like, "You're just like Bruce." And then they go into Dick's like, "Oh, maybe I am." And then Jason overpowers him. And right before Jason's about to kill him, Gotham PD, like almost this whole episode, had been trying to figure out where they went because they went off the path and they couldn't find them. The helicopter finds them. There's a sniper rifle out the helicopter that's trying to take out Jason, but they can't get the angle, and so they shoot. They end up shooting Dick in the arm, which gives Jason enough time to get away, and then gives enough time for him to get Crane. And then that's basically where that's where the episode ends. So my whole issue with right now is I can't truly believe that Jason, and I mean Jason in this interpretation, is believable. The actor looks too small. He's not realistic to me. If you ever look at the comics about Red Hood, if you ever look at, film adaptation, things like that, he's a bigger guy, and I just can't take him serious. Even though Dick is not that bigger, at least have him on the same stance. Even in previous seasons, it was never interpreted that Dick and Jason was par when it came to head to head. It was never interpreted that Jason was that smart. So I don't know how much time went by from the time he died or when he left the Titans and he went rogue to now, and they really haven't mentioned that. And I'm trying to figure out how did we get here. This guy have not showed any ounce of intelligence or tactical ability the first two seasons. Now the third season, we're getting into a character that like knows all the tactical stuff, very smart, very just knows so much stuff, and it's just not believing to me. So I think once again, like I mentioned in the last week's review, there's somebody else in play. There has to be somebody else in play. I just don't think Jason. Once again, I'm talking about Jason in this show, not Jason as the comics, but Jason right here. I don't see how that's possible. The other thing I want to mention, I saw in an article right before I was about to start this, was at the end of season 2, they made it seem like Blackfire was going to be the big baddie of this season, but from this episode that we just watched, it doesn't like they're going down that path. But once again, I thought the article was clever, and I was like, okay, yeah, because I thought like, all right, clearly once they get her out of there, she's going to do something. But she just sat in the car and was like, all right, take me. But at the same time, she's been so far gone in that chamber. Her powers are very, very null at this time. And there's a scene where the Absorber even tells. The Absorber even tells Gar and Starfire, like, yeah, I don't know. Her powers might come back, they might not. So at the moment, she's no threat because her powers are so like Nolan like not there. So, but yeah, I mean, I like the show. I thought the show was real good, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna continue to watch it. I can't believe into Jason because I just don't think that he is this smart, or maybe they'll tell us like, okay, during this time and he was robbing more, he learned more, but they haven't really told us anything yet about that. We still haven't seen Raven. We don't know what's going on with her. So, let me go ahead and finish this because we're going on almost 16 minutes and I still got to cut, edit, put intros and stuff like that. But once again, this is The Truth from Mr. Cooper. My name is Raymond Cooper. Have a good day.